Now that we've learned a little bit about the playlist view, let's go about learning how we can add sounds directly into the playlist. That way we have an idea for maybe some ear candy we want to put in to keep the track interesting. Maybe we need a sweep to help transition from one section to the other. These little tricks will help us do that. So the way you go about directly adding sounds into the playlist in order to execute them, tell the computer to play them, super easy. You can drag them into a pattern. You can drag that pattern into here. It's a longer way around. You could actually just go ahead and directly drag them in. The way you go about doing that is you want to go to your plugin sample browser, go up just in case you forgot how to get there, you just don't see it. Go into browser, plugin picker, left click, that'll open up. You want to scroll down to the pack in the folder that you have effects that you want to add to the project. For FL, comes with them some sound effects. So just like previewing your kicks and claps, go in, click around, use your arrow keys and your right arrow key to preview it again until you find a couple things you like, and then I'll show you exactly how we go about dragging it. So right now, when we start out a track, usually we like to have some sort of effect that starts it off, and then just kind of let the piano or whatever elements we have play for 8 bars. So I want to find something that kind of explodes out and goes into that. So I'm going to click, go around until I find something that sounds cool. Actually, before we do that, I actually found another sound that sounds really cool that I think would make a good sweep sound. A sweep sound being a sample you drag in to help one section go to the other. So I think when we're introducing the bass and the lead, I think this would make a good sound to introduce right around here. So the way you go about adding it without having to put it in the playlist and then drag it over here is you'll go to your sound, you left click, instead of dragging it in here, you drag it over here. And now if you left click on the top and you zoom out, you see you have your little sample now dragged into the playlist, and you see the waveform here, and you see it adds the audio into the channel rack, not direct into a different section. So if you, because I know I was definitely confused about this first, you see here, you're scrolling around between the leads and everything, you're saying, hey, I can't see where my audio sound went from here, even though it looks like it was in the channel rack. You want to go into unsorted, go to your audio, and that's where this effects lies. And also, if you want to see all of the elements you're working with, just hit all, and this allows you to scroll between the different subsections of your channel rack. So for now you know where it is. First thing we're going to do is going to turn it down a little bit because it's definitely going to be super loud. And now I'm going to show you how exactly we adjust this to get it lined up at the spot we want. So first we're going to zoom in. You can either hit Control and then the scroll wheel, or you can click up here and just manually zoom it. I prefer the Control and scroll wheel. So we do that. And we have our sound. Now we left click it, and now we can drag it around. And for more minute detail, if you want to like really get this centered in, so let's say this little section here, we want that on the line. If you hold the Alt key down and left click, allows you to get more minute control, as opposed to holding the left click and it just moving it every quarter step or so. So we'll go in, we've got it lined up. So now if we hit play, we move the green cursor, left clicking up here, again to set the play cursor to the spot we want to play. Now if we hit play, we'll hear our sweep sound introducing the bass and the lead parts. And adjusting the volume so it's not super overwhelming. Actually, taking a second look, it doesn't sound super good. It doesn't sound quite as good as I thought it was going to be, because it's definitely in a different key. So, just like any other elements, the way we go about deleting it is we'll right click, hit delete, ask if we do, and boom, it removes just like any of the others. So let's go see if we can find maybe another sentence that's a little bit better, either for the sweep or for our introduction crash here. Actually, I think we'll go ahead and select this one and put it in our intro here, because it's white noise. It just tends to be atonal. That is, there's not one specific key, so it sounds like with pretty much any song you put it in. So we'll play that here. Turn it down a bit using our volume knob. Left click in again. And now we have a nice introduction. One thing before we look into this, again, you're gonna see, you see I click this window. I'm sure you're like, oh my god, what is this? Don't worry about this Star Trek-y looking thing right now. The only thing I want to do really quickly, because I know for whatever reason FL Studio's default does this, we'll go to our master channel here, left click on this. I'll be explaining more about what channels are and what all these other knobs do here, but right now just focus on going to this limiter here, left click that, pull it up. You notice they have the gain knob, which is like a volume knob turned all the way up. So what it's doing is I'm not going to go super into detail about what limiters do, but at least just kind of a quick overview is that whatever sound, the green bar is the max, is how loud the track can maximally get before the computer just starts clipping off peaks. So what ends up happening is if you end up pushing the gain into, and the sound goes past this green bar, if you push it too hard, it tends to get some really weird smashed sounding artifacts. And I've been noticing that through the track, so I figured, okay, you know what, we need to solve this problem here. So the way we go about solving that, go to this gain knob down here, just turn it down. Now if we hit play, it's not going to have this weird smashed effect I can hear. And we'll close out of here. And just one thing I also forgot we haven't been doing, that's always very good, and will save your life or your project no matter what new plugin or software you're using, is the save button. So just in case you haven't been saving, you go up here and click save, Command S, just like any other plugin, save as. I've already saved it as tutorial. You can do it, name it wherever you want, but yeah, you can go save it either in a project folder or whatever folder you want to see your project in the future. Put in the name, hit save, it goes up there. Another trick I just discovered last week that I wish I had known maybe a couple weeks before, because I had a project that crashed and I couldn't find a backup. So the way you can manually make new versions of your track, that way if you're, let's say, okay, I've hit kind of a crucial section, in just in case this whole project just falls apart, you can go to your file, go to save new version, and now it creates another copy of the project that you can save over. That way, if let's say, okay, tutorial 2, the copy of our regular tutorial, this file for whatever reason corrupts, you can go back to tutorial 1 and work on it, no problem. Let's go about adding another sweep sound here, and then maybe another piece of ear candy or two. Then we'll go about fully extending our track into a full-on kind of pop or dance music structure. So, first things first, let's go find kind of a sweep sound for this section here. Let's see, maybe we'll click around and see if they have any other sounds. So, ooh, that's... Actually, what we could do, so there's one trick. I think there's a trick we use. So we're going to grab two sounds, but we're going to reverse one so it kind of sweeps into the other sound, which will go in. So let me show you how you do that really quick. So grab this one, kind of like that sound. Go that, drag that down, make sure the volume is not killing us. Go. Find another sound that sounds good. Maybe a cymbal crash. That sounds soft and pleasant to the ear, so we'll go there, drag that in, and instead of lining this up and just putting it here, we're going to click into our channel, or we're going to click into our sample, I should say. It brings up this dialog box of a bunch of different knobs and effects you can throw on this specific sample. Right now, we're focused on this little reverse knob down here, this button, radio button. So we left click that, it takes the waveform, reverses it. So now, instead of sounding like this, if we hit reverse, it sounds like this. So we can go in, we zoom out, drag that in, line it up, turn it down, and now we have this sort of sweep sound. And boom! We've made our sweep sound. So we're going to throw in maybe one more piece of ear candy to act as a little fill here. Fills are things you introduce every maybe 3 or 4 bars just to keep the track interesting, keeps it grooving. If you're interested in learning more about fills, just suggest going to YouTube thing. Maybe learn about drumming patterns and how various drummers use fills to keep the tracks interesting. For now, we'll just go ahead, add maybe one more sound effects to this section here, or maybe we'll just do, I think we'll do maybe a little percussion pattern here. And I'll do a percussion pattern by just dragging the samples in directly to show you can make patterns without dragging them into the channel rec and then clicking on these little pattern buttons here to tell what pattern for the computer, what pattern the computer needs to play for a given sample. You can actually just drag them in and play them out. So let me just show you that really quick. So we'll do that. So it's playing along. And we'll make another duplicate, and just like how we made duplicates for our piano, if you hold the shift key down, left click, you make another duplicate. So we'll put that here. We'll do a little at the end of every 4 bars. We'll do that. So we'll make another. We'll select both, hold the shift, left click, drag that over. So now we'll play, and we'll hear a little variation as the track goes on. Alright, so now you've learned how to add samples in directly, make sweeps, what have you. We've learned really all the crucial elements that goes into making a section for the track. So now we're going to go about learning how exactly we make maybe another section. We're going to go about learning about how to add some new instruments, throw in maybe some more ear candy, and just overall make this a full-on dance music track.